Udah, let's go. Let's go RRQ HOSHI vs FNOP. Game 1. Versus Fnatic Onyx.
As we know, the global series right around the corner. So establishing dominance here in the Snapdragon stage is going to set up that momentum you need for the rest of the year. And I think the drafts that we have here exactly suit the styles that Indonesia and Philippines are known for, with this side of Indonesia wanting to go for a little bit more of that early game and maybe set things up, while Fnatic Onyx, we know that they want to
Jungle-nya
be able
saling
to take
mirroring
control
aja
of
ya.
that mid game and just
Yang satu ke
slowly
atas, yang satu ke
tighten the
bawah.
grip around their opponents.
Agree, definitely. All right, so far so smooth. A great cover coming in. I mean, we do see invasion coming in between Susujin as well as Kyla. Kyla are gonna be in the pick right now. Oh, almost
1
close
HP.
enough to be tagged out, but with a
Almost
dash, he
is
still
never
managed to
enough.
survive it out. And we do see at least Brusco is on the light side. Whatever it is, he'll
Hampir,
be
hampir.
able to be backed out. But that was a really too close to tell whether or not RRQ Hoshi was able to be taken down our one Kelra, but nevertheless, he'll still be able to hold the ground, and he had to back away to recall himself.
Sujin, it's expected that he's going to be putting a
Nice,
little
mati
bit more
kasih, mati
attention
kasih, mati
towards
kasih
the
tuh.
gold lane here, but in the mid lane, Briscoe taking
Mati
quite a
kasih.
lot of damage himself.
Ada
Oh,
kolam.
coming in, and now
Katanya
we
ada
do see the first one
kolam.
coming in by Kurt, taking down Darren first.
Darrennya
The
nggak
attacks coming
pakai
in from Darren to
pelampung.
try to shut down Fnatic Onyx is not gonna be able to do so now. Edok and
Ini
Prince gonna wait it out for
perisirnya.
Susujin to be actually hold it out. But this turtle is already in the hands of Kiko, and now they go
Idok,
pushing in for the
idoknya
Scream style. Kiko
mati.
takes out Edok immediately with the Spirit of Alpha. Now
Sujinya
pushing
harusnya
in straight
masih
away
aman.
to the side of the one and only Susujin, but doesn't manage to put it. But that was already a good win with one kill on the side as well as a turtle to be taken into Fnatic Onyx.
It is very much expected that Fnatic Onyx should control the early game with an Alpha, Edith, and Gatot Kacha. It's a lot easier for them to take control of objectives, and they just have generally more damage compared to RRQ Hoshi. For RRQ, they gotta hold the early game and
King Kongnya
focus
ada apa
on
dong?
giving as much farm to Rins and Skylar as possible, with the Claude being the more obvious. That's why you're going to see a little bit more ganking towards the gold lane to make sure that Claude wins out against the Harith, because
Hirupnya belum
usually
level 4.
Harith is the
Sekarang
winner
udah.
here in this 1v1 lane matchup.
Oh, that's totally agree.
XP-nya
We do
harus
see a 1v1 matchup coming in
seperti
from
biasa.
Kurt as well as Durin. Ebon comes through, and now
Adu
Kurt is
otot.
trying to do damage as much as he
XP
could.
adu
But
otot.
I mean, you're talking about fighting off with Durin. I mean, a lot of the mobility-wise survival and sustainability coming in from him. It's not going to be easy. Attempts coming in from the side of Kirk himself, but he's still not giving up. But he's got to be careful. Along the side of RRQ is going to be
YouTube
Susujin,
udah
who's
level
just
4
overlooking. And it seems that King Kong
dari tadi.
gets the input as well, and they will deny it as well. Now, Rince moving away as quickly as possible before being tagged out. At least a reposition is a good in favor coming in from RRQ, but they really gotta hold off for a while because the aggression input out by Fnatic Onyx at the moment right now, it's really scary.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad for
Kirknya
Jungle,
masih
because when
aman.
you are on a Hilda, you usually don't
Hildanya
want causing
seperti biasa
havoc and
ngekat
pressure on
lane.
the map. But because Onyx just has so much early game damage and they're dealing with an alpha jungle, the Hilda cannot actually invade to try and disrupt King Kong. He just has to try and win out a lane priority, which is already kind of difficult against an Edith, so that they can roam and actually stop Onyx from being overly aggressive on other parts of the map. Unfortunately, Onyx not really being stopped by that. They're going to start contesting the turtle with Susujin.
Rins.
Coming in straight with the Spirit of Alpha, pushing in straight. Ebon comes
Nice,
through.
dapat.
Darren trying to push it straight away to King Kong, but doesn't manage to get the kill. He's
Blessing invade from Skylar.
But the turtle has already been picked up and pushing in right now.
Masih ada
He's
gelam,
trying to
aman,
push
aman,
it, but
aman.
RRQ
Harusnya
Hoshi
aman, aman, aman.
doesn't get the target that they needed.
Nice,
Fnatic
Susujin.
Onyx, they're
Keluar
gonna actually
BBM.
get away already. They already got what
Nice,
they
Pati.
needed, but damage comes through from
Nice.
Susujin. Double kill taking down Kirk as well
Dah
as
cukup,
the side
cukup,
of
balik,
Brusco.
balik, balik.
Now that's what is needed coming in for the side of RRQ, but at the same time,
Masih mau nih.
this is gonna be tough
Masih mau
for
tuh.
the side of Team Fnatic Onyx, as at
Enggak ya?
least
Enggak.
RRQ Hoshi gets the trade that they needed.
That is exactly what RRQ Hoshi is looking for, and actually a massive win, because up until now I have been mentioning that Fnatic
Nice early,
Onyx
nice
should be
early.
stronger at this stage of the game. They just have more presence and damage overall, but extended the team fight a little bit too far, and RRQ beautifully managed their
Colorado
resources and positioning,
Starlium.
playing around the healing being provided by the Revitalize so that they could prolong the fight and then re-enter once Onyx had overextended in the mid lane. Because of that, Sutsujin now has a little bit of an EXP lead against King Kong, and RQ has
Masih
even
aman.
up the net worth difference.
Incer
As long as they
orang. Kill
keep the
dikit.
gold even and Skylar does not
Aduh,
die,
sakit tuh,
this
sakit, sakit,
game
sakit,
is
sakit.
going in their favor.
Balik.
Agree, definitely. And a little
Itu
bit struggle
kalau
coming in from the side of
editnya
Darren.
stag
This is
merah
where no
full
matter
pun
how much you
sakit
try to
tuh.
put out a potential to fight over
Bisa
Fear,
mati kali.
is still not enough. And going
Kali.
into the side of Susujin, I agree on the note that now he's actually in a very good advantage. Hopefully, Arakyoshi can be potentially cover and control the
Idok,
movement
idok,
that they
idok.
are required right now to move in into
Wush,
the
setengah
mid
darah
game. And
sih,
so far,
Scalar.
right now, we do see that
Masih ada
Team
regen aman.
Fnatic Onyx is gonna actually try to team up right at the top, gonna actually try to give a lot of pressure to Skylar as well as Ido, but it will be denied instantly. Team Arakyoshi, really good grounding, really good coverage right now for both teams. It's really tie up for both of the teams right now.
XP-nya sama-sama lepas.
Yeah, like we mentioned, gold lane
Langsung
going to
aja
get a
di
lot of
target.
attention because if Onyx can unlock Kelra and have him start gaining gold from assists, it accelerates their snowball so much further while stopping Skylar. But RQ not letting that happen.
Wush.
Oh, they're not letting it happen as well. They're contesting for the title as
Dapat gak
well.
sih?
Darren
Nice, dapat.
coming in for the push of Brusco. Susan takes down and get
Masih
the
aman, masih
title
aman.
instead. But at
Nice.
the moment right now,
Nice,
they will
mati.
be trying to go in for the scrimmage. Not done yet.
Risnya,
Going
risnya.
in for the push
Masih
to the
aman.
side of Rins. Rins had to pull away with Susan having so
Masih
much
ada
damage to put out.
kolam.
They had to
Skylar,
reposition,
Skylar.
but it's a
Sakit,
good
sakit,
move.
sakit.
Skylar almost been tagged out. Now Darren coming in
Tyron,
for the
Tyron,
backline.
Tyron.
Dead better to take down. This is
Tyron,
Summer Force
nice,
coming
mati.
through, and Rin takes down Kilra immediately. Now pushing on straight. Darren doesn't
Bridge-nya
have much damage, and they had to pull
mati,
away.
mati.
A
Nice,
really
mati.
good win, but Super Frizz comes along with the
Rookies
trade, and
itu
King Kong
1/2.
shuts down Sujin
Tyron,
immediately.
Tyron,
With
Tyron.
what cost they
Ketahuan.
have, even though getting a
Balik,
turtle is a two
run,
trades
run,
coming in
run.
from the side of Fnatic on it. But Duran
Masih aman.
seems like Kurt trying to get as much as kill as possible. He wants to go in for the push, but still, it was a good cause. They still managed to push away without any casualty, but the trade is still the same for Fnatic Onyx as well as Philippine.
Yeah, that trade initially looked incredible for RQ Hoshi.
Empat,
Again,
empat.
beautifully
Ush,
managing their
Idok kenapa tuh?
positioning, but this time it was
Gak ada
them
flicker
who
sih.
prolonged the fight a little bit
Sama
too
sama
far
suka.
and underestimated the
Blazing
DPS.
Redstone Scalar.
Coming
Tapi
in for
bohong.
a fight as a moment right now. We do see Katokacha coming in, but at the same time, it's not gonna pull anything with that Avatar Guardian. Team Fnatic Onyx will be able to pull away for those fight. Even despite the fact that RRQ Hoshi was not been pulled in, but at the same time, RRQ Hoshi great position, great respawn wise. So far, they know how to actually have a really good space between Fnatic Onyx, and that's what is needed. Even on the ground wise, they did manage to actually trade off between the two turrets from the top as well as mid lane. Here on out, Team Aroki at least on the cover ground of the map, is still in their hands.
Even though Onyx was able to get some good kills in that previous fight,
Masih
remember the win
50-50
condition
ya.
we mentioned.
5-5.
As long as RRQ Hoshi
5-5
keeps the
bukan
gold
50-50.
somewhat even until the
Kiri,
late
kiri.
game, they are actually in the lead. And the goal difference right now, very,
Mm-mm.
very small. Only
Teori
about
ancaman.
1,000 in favor of
Tyron
Fnatic
kemarkah?
Onyx. If
Tyron,
that
Tyron,
means
Tyron.
in
Tyron.
comparison, RQ will scale
Masih
way
aman, masih
better.
aman.
And they're going to play for that timing.
Mus kena
Oh, the
banyak
good
tuh.
play from starting Avatar Guardian coming in for the push.
Ada kolam.
Right now,
Nice,
King Kong
dapat.
had to pull his, but so much
Super
damage
freeze-nya
coming
yang
in.
dapat dong.
But Skylar takes down Sprints
Skylar,
immediately, and Prince shuts down
ratain,
Brusco.
ratain, ratain.
Kara been stuck in the middle, will be taken
War.
out by Ito with the Wheels of
BBM.
Dragon, but King Kong trying to survive with the
King
Spear of
Kong,
Alpha, trying to
masih
move away,
paksa
but
kah?
Prince taking out Kurt, and it's gonna be
Pukul,
Darren
pukul,
to
pukul.
push in
Nice,
with
mati.
the last explosion,
Wipe
shutting him
out.
down with the sacrificer kill. But that's needed already from the side of RQ, just
Let's
to
go.
take down, getting the team wiped out, desirable in
900
RQ
persen.
Hoshi hands.
Fnatic Onyx went for a slightly over-aggressive position around the Lord Pit. At this stage of the game, it's understandable. They still have control, they still have damage, but RRQ, I've been seeing their micro movements, and it has
Nice.
been very, very impressive the way that they're dodging Avatar the Guardian every single time, making use of iframes, and Edok as well, finding Super Prince in the backline and kicking him into the Blazing Duet, thereby funneling the entirety of Fnatic Onyx into a small area where Skylar can do the most damage. He also now has the most gold in the game. RQ, with a 2k net worth lead now at 10 minutes, are very poised to take this game if Onyx are not able to find an equalizer.
Now let's see. They're
Mata
gonna
di
go
dok.
in straight to the bottom side. Doesn't spot anyone. It
Kayak
seems
ngedulu.
that Edo trying to find a way to actually go into the back line first of all, but at the same time will be denied by Super Friends, not allowing any extension coming in from the RRQ Hoshi. Lords is marching in. King Kong right at the front side. It seems that Darren will be at the back line. Doesn't spot anyone just yet, but they don't know who they want to go in. Rins overlooking straight, try to pull away, but Skyway
Nice,
takes
dapat aura.
down the turret immediately, but they deny it. They're actually having a little bit of hesitant, try to pull in into the Fnatic on it, and this is the reason why Fnatic on it having
Pilan,
a really good
pilan,
defense
pilan,
wise so
pilan.
far. And Team Arakyoshi, they couldn't find the opening they needed, so at least on the side of Fnatic on it, they still be able to neutralize all the lords and the wave that coming their way.
But they're not able to neutralize the gold advantage. RRQ is now controlling the
Empat
entirety of the
ribu.
map, and they have successfully taken every exterior tower from the
Empat
side of
ribu gold
Fnatic, Onyx
difference.
leaving only the inhibitors behind. While Onyx is pretty strong as a 5-man death ball,
Pasif tower
RRQ
bawah udah
Hoshi's
hilang, atas bawah
lineup
udah
is
hilang.
designed quite well to be able to split
Tinggal
up the
lebihnya doang
map
nih.
and even play for pickoffs. So they're gonna continue doing so and see if they can bait out individual members of Fnatic. Onyx, and if they're able to continue doing that, it's going to be quite difficult for our Filipino champions.
Let's see. King Kong trying to find a way
Filipinos
to bring to
Champions
RRQ. So
versus
far, Brusco just waiting for
Region
the right time.
Brawl.
The fact that RRQ, I like the positioning wise, they're denying every avatar guidance been put out by Brusco. And that's the reason why
Pressernya
it's
ngeri
not
banget.
in the favor of Fnatic on it every time they go into team fights. So that's the motion where we're seeing RRQ Hoshi positioning wise is very important for their keys. Now, Kara trying to actually bait out RRQ, trying to actually pull them in. And the best part about it is that Team RRQ, they don't need to worry about anything. They're literally prioritizing on the lane side. As long as they allow those waves come
Yeay.
in and keep giving pressure to Fnatic on
Happy
it, it's
birthday
still gonna be in
MLBB.
their favor.
It's a very interesting picture to see here because we typically expect PH teams to always be
Push
superior
dulu
in
tuh
terms
atas,
of
slow
macro.
push.
But because of the draft
Nice ya.
matchup for this game in particular, RQ Hoshi are taking care of that
Lord in
incredibly
hinge.
well since all of their heroes are either durable on their own or have built-in escape mechanisms so that they are able to split
Ada
push
color
waves
dance nih.
without needing to worry too much about getting ganked. Not to mention that Kirk is the
5000
only
silver katanya.
really reliable form of
Lihat tuh
CC
hidupnya.
that Fnatic Onyx has.
Zoning
He
sampai
has to find
situ dong.
Skylar, and that
Reload.
is after baiting out a
Nice.
Purify. Otherwise, RQ Hoshi just has so many ways of controlling team fights.
Nice, dapat.
Oh, going in
Mati
straight
kasih,
for
mati
the
kasih,
ways of
mati kasih.
dragon, taking down Kiko.
Nice,
So
mati.
much damage put out. Spear of Alpha
Let's
pushing in,
go.
trying to give as
2
much pressure, but
BBM.
it's not gonna do anything
Mati.
as they push into Brusco
Matiin.
instead. Getting double kill from the Rise of Rings, but at the same time, Reese is a
Tuker
little bit
sih, tapi
overextension, had to be shut
boleh
down by
lah.
Kara with the
Masih
Zaman
untung, masih
Force.
untung,
But
masih
at the
untung.
same time, right here, we do see Susujin gonna go in for all the burst that is required, but it's not gonna be enough. That trade coming in 2-1, and they're
Blazing
gonna push
Flash
it
from
all out to the side of Kurt
Scholar.
as well
Nice,
as
mati.
going into
Siren,
Kara,
Siren.
immediately shutting him down
Siren.
and going in with a power
Over
ult that is a
dikit
little bit
sih.
overextension to the side of Jiren, but Kurt still surviving out.
Heroesnya cuma
Prince
mati.
takes down Edot immediately.
Kasihan
This
kasih.
Lord is smashing in a really good
Nice.
overextension as
Dapat.
giving that advantage to the side of
Dapat tower
Fnatic
2.
Onyx. But at the same time, Susujin overlooking to the side of Prince, but here on now Kurt picks him up immediately as Susujin had to back away,
Cuma
having
mati
so
back
much
atas
damage,
kah?
and in
Enggak ya?
the end, the Lord a little bit
Sujijin,
those
Sujijin.
overextension is giving those
Masih ada
potential
ulti
to
sih,
Fnatic
harusnya aman.
Onyx to
Nice, teman.
reverse this back the effect into RRQ Hoshi.
I really like the decision that was made by RRQ to just rush in and try to take out the remaining members so that they could end the game with the Lord. Unfortunately, they went a little bit too far, and Kirk
Yeah.
was luckily able to survive with a tiny bit of HP because if the Eden had gone down, RRQ would have definitely ended the game right there and then. With that though, that does give Onyx a little bit more breathing room, but they only have one inhibitor on very low HP to hold on to. Whatever happens, this next Lord must go into their hands, or RRQ should be able to quite easily whittle down the crystal.
Right. 81 seconds to go for the Lord. Is it that they will try to actually push those team fights, or will they actually try to go in for the team fights along that Lord lane? But here on out, E-Dog is just trying to overlook. He will try to find a way to
Hmm,
actually pick it up. Rinse,
dapat
a little
dapat
bit
kasih, dapat kasih.
overextension will be denied by Super Friends. And not only that, they're pushing in straight away, giving a
Dapat
lot
kasih
of
tuh.
damage. They're going to
Nice,
actually push on
nice,
for
nice
that
match.
last turret immediately, but not
Nice,
going to be
dari
doing it
satu
in a lot
itu
of favor. But
storynya.
just need one more push, will be denied instantly by Fnatic. Just one more hit
Kasih
could
kasih.
have actually got that turret, but in the
Hampir,
end,
hampir.
Fnatic still giving a lot of pressure, not allowing RRQ HOSHI to even come in.
Yeah, Skylar tried to go in with the BMI for one last hit on the tower, but we have to remember in the patch they
30 detik
updated the
sebelum Lord.
tower so that they are just
Yep.
super tanky if you don't
Mhm.
have minions nearby. In the past, a single hit would have actually taken that down, but that's no longer viable. Regardless, though, I think RRQ are in a very, very comfortable position. Right now, Skylar going to be doing a lot of damage, and because there isn't enough ways for Fnatic Onyx to force out his Purify, he can actually position himself very aggressively without needing to be worried about being CC chained. He has 0 deaths so far, and the Lord is
Yidoknya
coming
zoning yang
up.
ngeri tuh bang.
Fnatic Onyx need this, or they need to at least slow it down. With only one
Oh,
tower
sakit,
standing,
sakit.
if RRQ pushes in with this and a Claude, the game is basically over.
It
Dipaksakan
is
tuh.
coming in right now. We do see King Kong trying to push into Duran, but at the same
Yidoknya
time,
masih aman.
a little bit overextension coming to Edo with
Let's
the Winds
invite
of
home
Dragon. Didn't even harm
Scalar.
anyone,
Push
but
winter.
Slider
Let's
will be
go.
able to take
Rata,
that curve
ratain,
first of all
ratain,
and get a double
ratain.
kill to the side of Brusco. So such a
Ratain,
takedown kill at the
ratain.
minute, and King
Nice.
Kong, the overextension was done by the side of Fnatic Onyx,
Nice.
will be
GG
punished from
RRQ.
RRQ HOSHI, and unfortunately,
Nice mati.
they will
Rata.
go in
Wipe
straight
out.
into the grounds of this site, despite the fact Duran had to be sacrificed, but it's already
Let's
a
go.
done deal for the side of Team RRQ HOSHI. They
GG
will be able to
RRQ.
get this first game
Lanjut
in
game
the
kedua.
hands of Indonesia.
An unexpected result, but one that we already